Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. In this, our June 26, 2023 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including the latest on the casting decisions for Superman Legacy. We're going to be talking about My Adventures with Superman, the animated series, the upcoming season 3 finale of Superman and Lois. We've got comic book solicitations, latest comic books, and action figures coming out of our wazoo. So we're going to talk about those topics and more. We're also going to turn to you to ask for your questions and comments on any particular Superman topic you would like to discuss. To let you know how all that works, let me introduce and welcome back my co-host, Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Steve. How's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
I am fantastic. We have a lot to talk about tonight.
We do.
Things are a poppin' in the Superman world.
They are, indeed.
But, we're going to get to that. But, since this is Superman Homepage Live, and we are now live now on YouTube and a bunch of other platforms, we want to hear from the people that are watching us on those lovely platforms. So, about halfway through the show, if we don't have too much on the docket, which... just in action figures alone, we have like 15 billion things to talk about. We take calls. And how do you do that? Well, you go to supermanhomepage.com/live and press the call now button. And you just wait. You get to watch the show. You're kind of in a green room. It's really nice. You get to still interact with everybody on the chat and everything. If you want to use your fancy smartphone instead, you can just scan the QR code that is right next to me, and it'll take you to the same place. If you are going to use your smartphone, one, kind of point it to where we can see your face, and two, wear a headset, because if not, the microphone without a headset just sounds crackly and poppy, and it's really weird.
Yeah, indeed. But if you're a little bit shy and don't want to get on the phone or call us tonight, then feel free to participate in the comments. As Michael has said, you can chat with people both on YouTube, Facebook, and Michael and I can react to those comments and questions as the show goes along. And if you'd like your question or comment featured on the screen live during the show, that's called a super chat. All you do is on YouTube, you click the dollar symbol there, a slider will appear on your screen, you decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate. We will feature your comment or question live on the screen as we go along tonight. There are also super chats and super stickers and super thanks if you want to give those a go. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. We appreciate your support. If you'd like to join those folks and support the Superman homepage, you can click the join button on YouTube, and there are different levels of perks for different levels of membership. Or you can go to patreon.com/Superman homepage. All right, well, let's get into this week's news. And as we do, we like to start with movie news. And just today, The Hollywood Reporter has weighed in on the casting happening with Superman Legacy, as we've been reporting all this month. Back on Father's Day weekend, the 16th and 17th and 18th of June, James Gunn and Peter Safran, the co-CEOs of DC Studios, met with actors who are trying out for the roles of Lois Lane and Clark Kent and Superman. And supposedly there were 3 for each. And on the Saturday, the actors did screen tests in the Lois and Clark dynamic as the Daily Planet reporters, and in those kinds of costumes, if you like. And then on the Sunday, the actors came back and wore Superman costumes, and they played opposite Emma Mackey as Lois Lane. Now, whether or not that means Emma Mackey is the top choice for Lois Lane, or whether or not she was the one that was available to do the screen tests on that particular day, it remains to be seen. We can't really say one way or the other what the situation there was, but she played opposite those gentlemen who are trying out, Nicholas Hoult, David Corenswet, and Tom Brittany, in the Superman costume for a Superman and Lois scene on the Sunday. So, by all reports, James Gunn is supposedly editing together whatever footage he got together from that screen tests, or from those screen tests, and is going to be showing the head honchos, or other head honchos, because he's pretty much one of the only head honchos at DC Studios, but the Warner Brothers executives, if you like, to show them what's there and what they've got. And a decision is supposedly imminent.
the Nicholas Holt is such a weird choice for Superman. It's not
Mm.
that I don't like him as an actor. It's just I don't see him as like Superman.
He's in the middle there in that
But
image.
that yeah, but that doesn't mean he couldn't be good. The guy to the left of him looks like an older version of Jonathan Kent from
Yeah,
Superman and Lois this season.
that's Tom
Uh,
Brittany.
yeah, I and everybody wants the guy that looks like Henry Cavill,
David
David
Corn Sweat.
Corn Sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
um, but Holt's a good actor. It'd be interesting. It's not uncommon for people who've played comic book characters in one film to cross the street and do another one. He was
Mm.
Beast in
Mm-hmm.
several X films. Um, I don't really have much of an opinion on the Lois Lanes. It's kind of weird. They all look like they physically embody the role.
Mm.
I'm pushing for the marvelous Miss Maisel just because I kind of have a little bit of a crush on her. Um,
Yes, that's Rachel
Gold.
Brosnahan on the left there. So the one that we were talking about that played Emma Mackey. She's on the right of your screen. Was the one that came back on the Sunday to play the Lois Lane scenes opposite the gentleman playing in the Superman costume. Obviously, Holt is also in the middle there. If he doesn't get the Superman role, is also a possibility for the Lex Luthor role. I'm hearing.
Which I think would probably be a better fit for him. Um, it's still a big role, and it's not like it's kind of a step down. I mean, if you're Lex Luthor, there's hardly anybody in the world of Superman that is more important than Lex Luthor,
Mm.
as we are discovering on Superman and Lois.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I'm so chill about this. I'm not getting up. I'm not getting like excited. Like when they announce it, they announce it,
Yeah.
And when the movie comes out, I'm gonna go see it, and that's pretty much where I am mentally.
Now, according to this report, also, the Hollywood Reporter claims that the Skarsgård brothers, Alexander and Bill, are possibly being looked at for Lex Luthor as well, which is interesting. Imagine being up against your brother for a particular role like that. There'd be some sibling rivalry there. But he's also James Gunn supposedly looking at roles for the Authority.
Hmm. Yeah, and it would be interesting if some of the people that were like up for Superman ended up as one of those characters.
Yeah.
Uh, Having the authority in the movie is, I, I, maybe what's so funny about Truth, Justice, the American Way is kind of a inspiration. Not like
Mm-hmm.
they're going to adapt that
Mm.
like they did in the animated film, but just to kind of
The spirit of
like
the
have
story.
that, yeah, just kind of have that dichotomy between a more militaristic group of superheroes and Superman who embodies a different type of heroism. So I don't know if they're going to end up being the villains or the antagonists. It'll
Mm.
be interesting to see.
Yeah, if that is indeed where they're going with it. And remember, anything that you hear in regards to this film but that isn't confirmed by Warner Brothers is all hearsay, and it's interesting to talk about and to speculate around, but nothing is solid or nothing is set in stone. These things can always change. We're still in pre-production stage. Reportedly, they're going. If the casting does happen this week and then over the next couple of weeks or months, they will be looking at starting filming in early 2024 for the July 11th, 2025 release date. So yeah, a lot to look forward to. Um, should be interesting to see what comes out of these casting announcements in the next couple of weeks, if that's indeed what they do. And yes, folks, whoever they choose to play Superman will obviously go into the gym and start bulking up for the role. So, you don't have to be in shape straight away to be cast in these roles. I mean, look at Christopher Reeve. As they say, he was a
Mm-hmm.
string bean back in the day when he was testing for Superman. They have months to get into shape and will obviously do so once they have been cast in the role.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Routh was kind of skinny, and
Hmm.
they bulked him up. Um,
Even Henry Cavill, when he was in the
yeah,
Immortals, was that the film that he did before? He was
yeah,
very, very muscly, but he was a lean muscle. Like, he wasn't bulky, so he was very, slim, but obviously very lean. And that was obviously the shape he needed to get into for that role. And then he did a different type of training to get into the shape of Superman. So these actors are very diligent around the physicality of their character roles as well.
Yeah, and it helps when you have highly paid nutritionists and trainers, and that is all you're doing because that's your
Yes,
job.
that's right. 7 days a week. So, yeah, good luck to whoever is cast in those roles. We'll be waiting with interest to see what the announcements come down. All right, so that's what's happening on the movie side of things. On the television side of things, before we get into Superman and Lois, My Adventures with Superman is today, June 26th, was the lift of the embargo for folks who have been given screeners of the episodes for Superman, My Adventures with Superman, the new animated series, which will debut Thursday, July 6th at midnight on Adult Swim, and then will be available to stream next day on Max. Does that mean midnight, July 6th is the next day? So July 6th is the day you'll be able to stream on Max, or does that mean July 7th? It's
I
kind of midnight. Does they classify that as the next day, or technically it's that day?
I have no idea. I'm the type of person that if I go to bed at 3 o'clock in the morning, even though it's technically the next day, it's not tomorrow until I wake up.
Yes.
So,
I'm with you there.
um, so it's anyone's guess. But no, it seems that pretty. I saw it popping up on my social media feeds. Very positive.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing really negative in that. And when you're given a screener, I think you're more likely to give it a more positive review. It doesn't mean you have to like fawn over it, but yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to see it.
So I can reveal, and obviously it's up on the website, that I was one of those people that was given access to screeners for Superman, My Adventures with Superman. I have to date watched the first 3 episodes, having just watched episode 3 before we came online for the show today. And my review, spoiler-free review, is up on the website and on our YouTube channel for the first 2 episodes, which are titled Adventures of a Normal Man, Parts 1 and 2. And you can read all about what my thoughts are on the first 2 episodes of My Adventures with Superman without giving away any plot details or story details. I basically just go through what my thoughts are on the characters, the settings, the animation, the score, some of the characters, like Perry White, and the fact that there's a news kid legion, not a newsboy legion, Jor-El, and other elements of the 2-part premiere are in there, but without giving away any story or plot details, as I said. So my thoughts, just quickly off on this show, yeah, it's great. I love it. It's finally something that the whole family can watch. My wife's even interested in watching it with me, because she likes the fact that Lois has short hair, being a woman who also has short hair. So I think that's interesting. And while it's familiar, it's also different, which is cool, because you don't want the same old, same old. You don't want it to see. It stays true to the characters, and it stays true to the story in many ways without being repetitive. And just in many ways, it's just adorable. I just really love the positivity in the show.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, you and I tend to see things eye to eye on these shows and movies and such. So now I'm feeling like, yeah. I mean, I thought I was gonna like it. I've liked all the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
I like the look of the show. It's. I'm glad also that it's more. I don't know if family friendly tends to be a loaded term
Yeah.
to some people, but that is something that the whole family can sit down and watch and enjoy on different levels is great.
To answer Butson's question in the comments, how long is each episode? No, they're not 12 minutes, they're 22 minutes each. And it seems, as I say in my review, I was pleasantly surprised with how well the episodes are paced. Like at 22 minutes, you think it's not long, but there is an effort to try to keep things popping along quickly because you've only got 22 minutes per episode, but still they leave room for character development and relationship development as well. So yeah, it's and the animation style, it's very obviously anime inspired, but and there are cutesy moments where you get kind of like the when a character is blushing, they get the little fuzzy red marks on the cheeks to show that they're blushing, and that's very much. Or when they get surprised or shocked, you get these real open mouth kind of big eyed type of expressions. But for the most part, it's not that overly done. So it's yeah, I'm impressed, and I love the look of Metropolis. The Daily Planet looks great. The character designs are good. Clark has that look about him that's very similar in many ways to what we saw in what was that miniseries where For All Seasons,
Okay.
where he's that bulking type of Hulk. So much larger than everybody else, but it's not overly done, and he just looks like that kind of big kind of galoot in many ways that, but without being overly awkward or um, cumbersome. He's just looks like that big brother type of figure around Jimmy and Lois. So it's really well done, and I hope everyone enjoys it when they get to see it.
Yep. I am definitely looking forward to it.
All right, so let's get into Superman and Lois. The penultimate episode, episode 12 of season 3, was titled Injustice. You gave this one another 4 out of 5, saying that this comes from the fact that Sam Lane was trying to get people to safety because he was trying to get them in the underpass, which is something that we learnt from Man of Steel is something you shouldn't do, supposedly.
No, no, it's something basically the way underpasses or overpasses, they're called both,
Mm.
are designed. It basically is a wind tunnel, and when you have winds several hundred miles an hour blowing debris at you, you don't want to be in a tunnel that basically accentuates that. And I've got a buddy from Kansas, and he just said, "Yeah, it drove us crazy." I told my wife, who basically flipped out when we were getting out of Man of Steel. She was just like, it was like one of the things that she like made her not like parts of the movie was that John Kent pointing everybody to the underpass. Now you could argue that that was something that became more of a thing in the late '90s, and obviously Clark was probably 18 or so in the mid '90s. So, but now it's 2023. People know what's going on. So,
Mm.
uh, but on the other hand, it's a TV show with sets, and they're limited, and there's very little way to put people in jeopardy and not have like something for them to like hide under, so that Jordan can do his superhero thing.
Mm.
Uh, but it's that was it. That was the only part that I really didn't like. Everything else was fine, and this new version of Lex is amazing.
Yeah, so what did you think about Lex Luthor, played by Michael Cutlitz? He's brutal. He's no holds barred. There was the whole scene of him with the warden. When he did get put in jail, he's a
Mm-hmm.
monster.
Yeah, what I said in the review, and I still hold to it, is that this is basically like the post-crisis Lex written by like people like John Byrne and Roger Stern and Dan Jurgens and Jeff Loeb. It's that Lex who's served 17 years in jail,
Mm.
and not only served 17 years in jail, but for something he didn't do.
Yep.
And that's and the twist that they added is that he had a daughter. I'm willing to put money on the fact that her name is Lena.
Yeah.
Uh, just it's just a educated guess on that, and that the whole thing about Superman and Lois, just in general, is that thematically it's about family, and I'm not talking like in a Fast and Furious way. I'm
Mm.
talking in something that I actually want to watch. And okay, so yeah, I realize Fast and Furious is a popular franchise.
Never seen
I
one.
did the ride. while I was at Universal, and it was terrible, and I never wanted to see the films in the first place. So it just soured me on the entire thing. But no, um, if you like Fast and Furious, I have nothing against you. But no, the show is about family. It's about Lois and Clark and their kids, Lana and Kyle and their kids, and John Henry and his daughter, and Sam Lane is kind of like the grandfather. So
Hmm.
there's a dynamic between him and Lois and him and Clark, and we've explored through just the entire series different aspects of that. So it would make sense that you would want to give Lex something of that, and it kind of deepens the hatred that now his daughter wants nothing to do with him because he was in jail for something he didn't do.
Mm.
Uh, and I just really appreciate it. Yeah, and he's brutal. I mean, he was using a guy as a chair. Um, they beat him pretty savagely, but
He
he
got
did the
his
Lex
come.
Luthor thing
Yep.
of never doing anything himself, always having other people do it for him, being kind of the power in the background, and it was really well done.
Mm. In the comments, JP saying Jordan was being a punk in the whole episode. I've got to agree. Jordan was really unlikable in this episode. He was being, for someone who's been brought up by Clark and Lois, who supposedly should know better, or I understand he's a teenager and what have you, but he's gone off the rails as far as wanting that accolade and being in the limelight, and he chose to land in front of those people and then chose to stick around for photos, opportunities, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not as harsh on him because I think another thing, and I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but it's what I'm taking from the show, is that they're really showing the difference of what happens when you have, when Clark landed, he basically had his powers,
Mm.
and he grew up with them, and he grew up keeping them a secret because it's what his parents felt was the best thing for him. Um, and insert argument about Man of Steel here. Uh, no, actually, don't do that. That would be a terrible idea. The the but Clark, as probably as much as he wanted.
That's the Man of Steel crowd booing.
Everybody, calm down. It's okay. I've got a copy of Dawn of the Dead in the back. Okay,
All right,
okay,
all
we're
right,
fine.
all
We're
right, all
totally
right,
fine.
all right.
Um, uh, but yeah, and Heath in the comments just mentioned something. Clark, as much as his parents, kind of guided him to that, it also seemed that to a certain extent, Clark was also trying to find the balance between using his powers and keeping them
Mm.
a secret and keeping
Yeah,
his family safe. He's had a lifetime to get used to this. Up until like 3 years ago, Jordan didn't even know his dad was Superman.
true.
And between that and his mental health issues, it's a completely different dynamic. And his powers weren't something that were there from the beginning. He's just gotten them. So he's just kind of going through, to me, he's kind of going through the growing pains of wanting to use them, and probably, yes, to a certain extent, wanting accolades and wanting to be popular. And it was pretty intense. The scene with him and Clark, and him kind of batting Clark's hand away, and Clark telling him to never do that again. It's just my hope. I didn't put this in the review because I couldn't really find a way to make it sound decent written down. My hope is that since Michael Cudlitz is going to be continuing the next season, that we don't go down the road of him finding out about you know Clark's identity and turning Jordan against his
Mm.
dad.
Okay, yeah, I know
Uh,
where you're
and
going.
which was kind of like something that happened in like the Generations,
Mm.
the John Byrne Generations series. But I just really, I didn't mind it. I thought it felt pretty natural. I get why other people don't. I'm not sitting here and saying anybody's wrong. It's just, to me, it kind of worked because, as Heath points out, this is something that happened last. We got to see an exploration of this last season with the Jonathan of the Inverse World.
Yeah, true. Very true. And speaking of Jonathan, that was interesting, the whole thing, him coming talking to his brother about the way he's being treated at the firehouse, and then for his dad to show up and talk to Kyle is just like one of those things. As a teenager, he's like, oh please Dad, don't get involved, like just let it be, I mean, I'm not happy, but I don't need you to fight my fights for me, or to, and that rang true for me. It felt like, yeah, I'm not happy with the way things are going at work, but really I don't need my dad to come in and put the hard word on my boss or whatever. It just makes things even more awkward. And yeah, that was an interesting and felt really true, kind of a real world type of situation.
Yeah, I liked that Kyle's reaction was, "You should have come to talk to me.
Yeah,
You're part of this team." And it's not like Jonathan asked him to. That's
no,
the weird thing about the whole
yeah,
thing, is that Jonathan's really caught in the middle of all
yeah,
this.
exactly. He's the meat in the sandwich. So yeah, really good episode. It's leading into what is going to be an excellent season finale for season 3. Let's have a look in the little box here down the bottom at the trailer for this upcoming episode. We'll look at a little bit of it right here.
People knowing.
There you have it. That's the season finale trailer for Superman and Lois season 3, and it is titled "What Kills You Only Makes You Stronger," and Lex is out for the Man of Steel.
Well, it's really a secret thing, because at the end Doomsday is going to show up. So
What did you think of Bizarro at the end there, eating rats and then killing Otis?
I don't know. I don't know if I needed to see that, but it was it did make for, like, wow, that's go. I mean, they went hardcore. They went ham in this episode with both Lex and Bizarro. So I'm kind of digging both.
Can I tip my hat to Tyler Hoechlin's acting prowess? Like, we've seen him as Clark and Superman, but like, really, he doesn't get enough props for the range of his acting, to then go on to do that mindless Bizarro zombie type Bizarro situation. He's been pretty impressive what he's had to do for the whole 3 seasons so far.
Absolutely. No, I agree completely. It's and man, being in that makeup's just got to be annoying.
Wow. So well done to Tyler Hoechlin. Season 3, the final episode will air tomorrow night there, June 27th on the CW, and tomorrow night here in Australia on Fox 8. So looking forward to the season finale. I'm glad, with Lex being the way he is, that we do get to see him move on to season 4 of Superman and Lois, even though it will be only 10 episodes. If they can focus on the family of the Kents and Lex Luthor, and make that the real focus of the show, it's still going to be a great season.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, we're at the halfway mark of tonight's show. We're going to play a quick bunch of messages, take a quick break, then come back on the flip side. Being the last episode of the month, we're going to do not only This Week in History and the fan favourite question, but we've also got the super secret soundbite to get through. So we'll be back right after these messages. Don't go anywhere, folks.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program. Just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
Look! A up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane.
No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer. I'm the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
I had a dream had I. I dreamt I was a Superman French fry. And in this dream, I dreamt that I was high in the sky. I cooked up crispy golden brown. I was delicious all around. I was as tasty as can be, brown and crispy, that was me. Everywhere it was the same. 'Cause Superman French fry was my name. And dreams was in, but if I had my way, a Superman French fry I would stay.
Don't know about you, but I always dreamed of being a Superman French fry.
I can't look away. It's like a car crash. I mean, it's just like I don't know what's good. Like, somebody got paid to write those lyrics. Like, I doubt that they were probably on staff to whatever company did it, but still, somebody sat down on their work day. And I just imagine them with like a pad, because that's an older commercial.
Yeah,
it's right. Like a pad of paper. It's just like, I wish I was a Superman French fry. Okay, he's got a little
Let's
piano.
go with it.
And not a piano. No, he's got like a little Casio keyboard from the
right.
80s that he's just kind of plinking on.
So good. All right, let's get into the segments of our show. Let's start with the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, so what was our question from last week, Michael?
What is your favorite Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, praise be his name, image? And JP Rocha wrote in. I'm not going to be doing that for everything. I'm not going to be saying the name.
Not all the
praise
time.
be his name. Just understand that it's implied.
Exactly.
JP Rocha wrote in. My favorite Jose Luis Garcia Lopez image is the following promo art piece. Not sure if it gets more iconic than that one.
Yes,
definitely. I'll agree.
Very cool. Thank you so much, JP. Ramel Katukan wrote in saying, here's his image. Ramel wrote in saying, I feel this one is a bit different for Jose than the style he is usually known for, but it's quite a memorable one. Definitely. Very nice.
Yep. No, they made a print of that.
Yes, a lithograph, I think, in 88.
In the early 90s. And so
very nice.
That one and a Kurt Swan one. Anyways, Heath Fedora wrote in, here's my favorite Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, praise be his name. He's on the train. Superman picture. It's a variant cover to what was going to be the new ongoing Scott Snyder Superman series during the New 52. At the time, I saw this as golden shining light in the New 52 lineup. The Scott Snyder was writing Superman. What kind of mad luck had happened to fall in the laps of us Superman devotees? Alas, it was tragically cut short to 9 issues because of complications due to a change-smoking, armor-clad Batman literally leeching all of Snyder's creativity, making him unable to script multiple titles. Although unconfirmed, it bears a striking resemblance to the same affliction suffered by Jeff Johns, Frank Quitely, and the entire staff of Image Comics circa 1992 to 1999. Love the show!
Thanks, Heath. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. The image, I don't have it on my computer there, so I apologise to Heath for that one. But thank you for the very well-described answer. Thank you very much. Next up, we have Luke Lizalde, who wrote, my favourite Jose image has to be the Superman versus Wonder Woman cover. A picture is worth 1,000 words. When you see this beauty, I think you can understand why I love it. Welcome back, Michael. Like I said, it is never the same when you were away.
Oh, thank you,
nice.
sir.
That is a good cover.
That was very nice. Arnie H. wrote in. He goes, I absolutely love Kurt Swan and Murphy Anderson's Superman. I grew up in the Bronze Age, but in 1977, I was blown away by the artwork in Superman 307 and through 309. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez did an amazing job. I remember being a tad disappointed when the regular team returned in Superman number 310. So many great images, but I'll pick this one. Thanks, guys.
That's cool. Very nice. Actual panel. Very cool. Thank you, Arnie. Next up, we have Mo Walker wrote in saying, when I think about Jose Luis Garcia Lopez Superman artwork, my mind immediately conjures up his superpower style guides. I also own a puzzle drawn by Garcia Lopez, which I've got here, featuring Superman and various DC pre-crisis heroes, which I glued to some wood years ago. Very nice. Yeah, the style guides are always very cool, which is why I think it's so iconic, is that so many people just recognize that artwork from the 60s and 70s so readily.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Now, I weighed in with... I've always loved this one, any shirt rip one, but this is very iconic as well. So that was an image that I grabbed. Not the clearest version of it, but I always love that rendition from Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. There you have it.
Yeah, his 90s, the 90s style guide stuff that he did was really interesting. Especially his take on the longer-haired Superman, which popped up here and there. So, I mean, it's just the man's a master. I mean,
he is indeed.
There's just no two ways about it.
So, yeah, thank you everybody who's weighed in on the fan favorite question for this week. And on a similar track, our new question is: what is your favorite Joe Shuster Superman image? The co-creator of Superman. Do you have a favorite image of Joe Shuster of Superman? Here is the email address that you write to: info@supermanhomepage.com. Send your entries in, send your emails in. We will read out and show the responses to the new fan favorite question when we return to this question next week.
Awesome.
Getting some love for Joe Shuster. All right, let's move into This Week in History.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement, traveling through time and space.
A little more packed than I thought it was going to be, comic book wise, but we're going to start in 1943 with an iconic cover to Superman number 24. I don't think it gets much better than that in terms of that sort of Superman of the flag representation.
Yep.
I think it's amazing. Jumping ahead to 1953, Adventure Comics number 191, we have Superboy flying by where there's another Clark Kent. I'm sure hijinks ensued. I'm willing to bet that. 1963, we have Action Comics number 303, The Monster from Krypton. Superman does not look comfy there. That's... is that a statue? Oh, I guess it's a statue he's grabbing. Okay.
That's right, yes.
There we go. Because that is Superman. Superman is the monster from Krypton. Adventure Comics number 311 is, of course, a Legion of Superheroes tale where you got Superboy there on the cover. The Legion of Substitute Heroes declare war on the Legion of Superheroes. And again, I'm pretty sure hilarity ensued. And you also had Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 43.
And a great Super Baby story was up there that in the Adventures of... You missed that on the adventure cover. A Super Baby story, Michael.
Did I miss that? Did I miss that? Did I really?
Okay, I get the point.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Lois Lane, volunteer nurse. Nothing like Superman getting jealous over a dude in an iron lung. It's not like he's doing much, Superman. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. From the waist down, he's covered by an iron lung, like you said. It's like not much action.
And shades of Ben Casey and Dr. Kildare has nothing on Great Krypton. So, anyways, 1973 we have Action Comics number 427. With Superman introducing the Man Who Never Lived, plus Action Plus with the Atom as well. And finally, because really 1993 is the last year where there was anything, Adventures of Superman number 503. When I finally, because I had got my summer was very weird in '93, so I wasn't going to the shop every week. So when I finally got like 2 months worth of Superman comics to read, I somehow missed the Superman issue before this, so I went from one issue to another, and suddenly Coast City's destroyed, and I had no idea what was going on.
Oh my god!
Thankfully, I was able to track down a copy of Superman number 80, but still, that is such a great cover. Don't send a boy to do a man's job. So it's just, and
Cool.
really, guys, things were booming in Coast City.
Wow.
Alrighty, in the real world, tomorrow, or today for Steve, June 27th, is the birthday of Dan Jurgens, creator of Booster Gold, and of course, he had something, I think, to do with the death of Superman.
And he's been a guest on the show, so happy birthday to Dan.
Yep. Yes, Dan. Very, very happy birthday. And June 28th, Superman Returns was released into theaters in 2006. Routh was like 90% torso in that costume. It's kind of interesting. And I'm going to butcher this name. Ayelet Zerer?
Ayelet, yeah. Ayelet.
Ayelet, who played Laura in Man of Steel. She was also Vanessa on the Netflix Daredevil series. She was born on June 28th in 1969, and that is This Week in History.
Yep, I've got their image of her. There she is. So, yeah, she played Lara in Man of Steel. So, thank you very much, Michael, for This Week in History. Very cool to look back. So, there is that. All right, let's get into this month's Super Secret Soundbite competition.
Only one thing alive with less than 4 legs can hear this frequency, Superman, and that's you.
All right, so last month, this was the sound that was the Super Secret Soundbite you had to try to guess. Here it is.
But I'm just an artist. I doodle in the margins of notepads. I daydream about color and form and monster trucks. I live half my life in a fantasy world.
You sound perfect.
So there you have it. That was the Super Secret Soundbite from last month. And we had, I think, 4 people guess it right. That it came from the episode from Superman the Animated Series. What was it? In Brightest Day? Is that what it was titled?
Mm-hmm. With Kyle Rayner Green Lantern.
Yes. Who guessed it right?
Jeremy Crawford, Luke Lizalde, Josh Green, and Ryan Ignatius Pratt.
Well done to those 4 guys for guessing where in the world of Superman that sound came from. It was obviously Season 3, Episode 7, In Brightest Day from Superman the Animated Series. Let's see if those people and more people can guess where in the world of Superman this new Super Secret Soundbite comes from.
Me know, me help. Me get most smartest hero in the galaxy to help too. Down, down, and nearby!
Do you think you know where in the world of Superman that sound came from? If you do, head to the Superman homepage website. Under the contact menu, you will find the Super Secret Soundbite entry form. Fill out the entry form, and we will read out the names of each person who guesses it right when we return to this segment at the end of July. So get involved in the Super Secret Soundbite. All right, pushing on. There are the segments that we have to get through. Let's get into the comic book side of things. And DC released the September Solicitations this past week. And there were some interesting books coming out in September that we need to have a look at. Let's have a look at what some of those were. So, turn off Superman Returns right there. We've already done that. There was, let's have a look here, Superman number 6, The Chained Part 1. Following the shocking cliffhanger of Superman number 5 and the events of Night Terrors, Superman has learned that Lex Luthor kept a prisoner beneath Stryker's Island for decades. Who are they and why did Lex lock them up? Can Superman unlock the secrets of the Chained? That's the cover that's behind.
It's a great cover.
Yeah. Very cool cover. I think it's by Jamal Campbell. So, very cool cover. Also coming out in September, Action Comics 1057. As the Super Family and Steelworks rebuild their city, a new golden age of Metropolis has begun, and not everyone is happy about it. as the charismatic but volatile young terrorist leader Nora Stone reveals herself and her vision for a city without Kryptonians, members of the super family inexplicably start losing their powers, and a new team of metahumans emerges to take their place. Who is Nora Stone, and what's her strange obsession with Clark Kent? The newest arc of Action Comics begins here. Well,
Again, sounds great.
I think
really
her
excited.
problem is she needs a haircut.
I don't know. She some people look at, what's his name from the Smiths or the Cure, and
take inspiration.
Robert Smith, and you kind of take inspiration. So little Susie and the Banshees, it's fine.
Was there anything else in September that caught your eye?
Not really. And it's not that everything looks good. I've kind of, I don't know if I'm going to keep. I think I'm going to trade weight on Superboy, because I didn't hate the first issue. I just wasn't a big fan of it.
Fair enough.
I've just completely given up on Superman Lost. That is definitely going to be a digital trade when it's on sale for like $4 on Comixology. That way I could still read it. I'm not spending $4 a month on that. It's not the story for me.
No, and even if it was a good story, the way it's written is just so convoluted and confusing. You just don't know where you're at or who's talking, why. It's bizarre.
So I
think there should be an insert of word: Superman readers are lost.
The trade collections were kind of interesting. They're putting out a new edition of the Superman for All Seasons, which is kind of weird because in August we're going to get the finally, I should add, get the Absolute edition. And they're re-releasing the deluxe edition of Superman Unchained. And I'm like, are people crying out for this, or it's Jim Lee? Okay,
Jim Lee, he needs more
publisher.
money.
It's his artwork. Maybe he's got another kid on the way. He's got like 50 of them. And God bless him for it.
Good on you. You figured out what's causing it, Jim?
I'm just really. It's just nice though to see a couple different, like 3 or 4 different Superman collections being solicited. So I'm probably not going to get all of them because I own most of them already. I'm not. It's not Death of Superman, so I don't need 15 copies of For All Seasons.
Fair enough. All right, so let's get into what is available this week, and here is what we have to look forward to in regards to the comic books out this week. We'll turn that one off. We've already shown that. That was Solicitations. So as of June 27th, Tuesday, June 27th, we've got Batman the Brave and the Bold #2. Now that includes a Superman story, and that is focus of a variant cover right there. So the continuation of the Superman story that was in part 1, or episode number 1, issue number 1, sorry. DC Ruby #5 is out this week as well, if you're continuing on with that. The big one for us as Superman fans, Action Comics 1056. That is available this week and is available in a couple of different variant covers. We have Tales from Dark Crisis hardcover, Dark Crisis Worlds Without a Justice League hardcover. We have Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths hardcover. And then we've got Crisis on Multiple Earths Book 3 Countdown to Crisis trade paperback. So a few collected editions, and obviously the Superman books, the weekly books as well, the monthly books. So yeah, a few things.
The Kevin Nowlan cover to that reissue of the Crisis on Multiple Earths trade is interesting. Those are just large. They took the previous collection and just put more inside. So instead of having 6, there's 3 books. But yeah, real Dark Crisis heavy in the collected editions.
Very much so. All right, so that's the comic book side of things. Something that we announced and are doing here at the Superman homepage, we are on the search for the world's best cosplayer. So this is a contest that we're putting out there to the world. Do you know any Superman cosplayer? whether you possess the superhuman ability to transform into the iconic superhero himself, showcase your amazing costume, charisma, commitment to the character. This is what you've been waiting for. We're doing a global search to discover the ultimate Superman cosplayer who embodies the spirit, strength, and symbol of hope that Superman represents. So the contest is up on our website. To enter, take high-quality photos showcasing your Superman cosplay from various angles. Record a short video of no more than 2 minutes introducing yourself as Superman and demonstrating your best heroic poses and catchphrases. And submit your entry by posting the photos and video on social media, both on Instagram or Twitter, with the hashtag Superman Cosplay Search. Tag our official accounts, Superman homepage on Instagram and Twitter. So as far as the prizes are concerned, you'll be crowned the world's best Superman cosplayer, as presented by the Superman homepage. You'll win the admiration and recognition of Superman fans worldwide. There'll be a trophy commemorating your achievement and special recognition on our website and social media accounts. So if you're interested or you know somebody who is perfect for this contest, then get involved in our worldwide search for the world's best Superman cosplayer. You'll find all the details on our website. Should be interesting.
Yeah, no, that was a really interesting idea. I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of that.
Yeah, so we'll keep you posted. You've got until the end of August, so there's quite a bit of time up your sleeve. End of August, we'll be the entries closed, and we'll be announcing our world's best Superman cosplayer for the Superman homepage. All right, so that's that. Let's move on. If from the merchandise side of things, before we get into the stack of action figures that are available or being announced, Hollywood Spotlight, the ultimate guide to the Superman's 85th anniversary special, is available at your newsstands. I'm just trying to find the image here so you can have a look at what it looks like. Where is it? I had it somewhere here. So it is there it is, Ultimate Guide. So I've turned off the cosplay image firstly, and there is the cover to the magazine, the Ultimate Guide to Superman. They did one 5 years ago for the 80th anniversary, but this is a new one, obviously with some up-to-date information. You can get it from magazineshop.us or probably from your local newsstands. It's available for $13.99 US.
Yep, which is weird because another one of those just came out like a couple months ago too. So, I mean, I'll buy it. Why not?
Why not? So, yeah, if you're out there searching for it, have a look. So on the action figure side of things, this was available by JND Studios. It was the Superman and Clark Kent hyperreal movie statues. And they sold out pretty quickly. And then DC Shop now has the same figures available at a higher price, of course. They've jacked up their prices to be sold at DC Shop. But amazing Clark Kent. The Superman facial features is something a little bit off there, but very impressive hyperreal figures. But yeah, at $2,700 for the...
Good Lord! Yeah. Come on!
Or if you want both of them together, $4,799.
Or, your mortgage for a couple months.
your liver, your lung, whatever you want to donate. I'm sure they'll take blood
fine.
money.
I mean, I'll take one, but I don't think I'm going to be buying one.
No. So yeah, good luck to anyone who has got the money to do that. On an interesting front, McFarlane Toys are gone crazy for action figures this week for Superman. But what's with the Superman face sculpt on this 2-pack of the Earth 3 with Atomica 7-inch scale action figures? Superman and Superman of Earth 3, Ultraman obviously there, but what's with the Superman face sculpt?
Yeah, I don't like the body sculpt either. The way the S kind of drips down, it looks like literally liquid. The Ultraman isn't bad. It's just that Superman face, that sculpt on that Superman is just like... Like he just ate a lot of cheese or something. It's really kind of strange.
Yeah. Bit disturbing. They've also got, and I think you've already pre-ordered this one,
Yep.
Superman Doomsday action figure set, gold label collection, McFarlane Toys. So this is an interesting 2-pack.
Yeah, the it's probably one of the most articulated Doomsday figures that they've ever done. McFarlane had previously done a Superman versus Devastator, which I guess is like, what happens when you get Doomsday from Wish or Fiverr. But this one is very impressive. Even like the jaw opens in terms of articulation. So. Yeah, it says it comes with stands. You're going to need those for the McFarlane toys. They're just very hard to stand on their own. And I'm sure if somebody breaks in the house, you can just throw the Doomsday figure at them because that thing looks like a chunk of plastic.
Yeah, take your eye out. Also, they've just given us a preview, a first look at their Action Comics #1 Superman action figure. So we'll give you more details on pre-orders. But for any of these action figures, this one I've seen people say Arnold Schwarzenegger as Superman. But the pre-orders for the other ones are available on our website now. We'll let you know when this one's available for pre-order soon as well. Also, there are, not from McFarlane Toys, but from Super Pin Raiders. They're called Super Pin Powers, Lois and Clark set. So these pins are available to pre-order as well. And then for fans of Cosbaby, Hot Toys has announced the upcoming release of their Justice League Superman Cosbaby figure, which is a little bit adorable, but lots of merchandise coming out for Superman fans that are all available to pre-order on our website.
Yeah, that pin of Clark Kent was just it's the action figure in pin form. It's so cool looking, and the Lois is taken from the Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, praise his name, style guide as well. So yeah, those are cool to see.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of tonight's episode. Before we do sign off, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Superman Homepage Live and joining us over the past hour. Thank you to Butson, Justin, Mind the Gap. Who else we've got there? Heath, Matthew, JP Rocha, William Jones, and so many others who joined us over the past hour. Thank you for being with us and for your company. Thank you to my co-host, Michael Bailey. Thank you, Mick. Good to have you back.
Pleasure, sir. Always glad to do the show.
And don't forget, Michael and I will be back next week on Monday, July 6th, I think it is. No, 3rd. 3rd?
Yes, July 3rd.
July 3rd, yes. For another edition of Superman Homepage Live at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. Thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And we will see you next week. Stay super, folks. Don't forget to visit supermanhomepage.com for all the new news updates, as I said. We'll be back next week. Until then, I'm Steve Eunice on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com. Good night.